Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day leading up to Halloween and discuss it. Today we're talking about 1981's Halloween 2, which was directed by Rick Rosenthal. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
And back in Haddonfield again for Halloween. The sequel to your favorite horror movie of all time, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't believe we haven't done this one yet. That's kind of cool.
Right? Yeah, it's so crazy that, like, literally we're in our 3rd October and we've never covered Halloween 2.
And we've done, like, 4. What else have we done? We've done 4. We've done, obviously, the 2018 sequel.
Kills.
You know, it's funny. We really dive into Friday the 13th a lot more than Halloween. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, well, Friday the 13th is, like, an all-year thing.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with why we have more Friday the 13th out there. And more Nightmare, too.
I think Halloween's the least amount, which is crazy. Well, we did Halloween 3.
Oh, right, we did Season of the Witch. That was fun. I love that one.
Yeah. But this one is, this one's probably, like, the best of the 80s? Can you say that? Best Halloween movie of the 80s?
When did 4 come out? 89 or 88?
88 and 89, yeah.
I would say this is the best out of the 80s then.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, this is better than Halloween 4 in my mind. I love Halloween 4 too. It's as good as it gets for Halloween 4, if you ask me. I don't know. This one's great though. This one is like John Carpenter made Halloween 1. It's like, you want a sequel? I'm curious if he ever thought of a sequel happening while making Halloween. Exactly, right?
No, he didn't want to do a sequel. And I watched some behind the scenes stuff on this, and basically he was like, I don't want to do a sequel, but it was so profitable, and they're just like, he's like, I want to do this movie, The Fog. And they're like, okay, you could do The Fog, but then you have to do Halloween 2. We'll let you do The Fog, you have to do Halloween 2.
Yeah. I mean, John Carpenter's probably the most, like, cynical asshole when it comes to, like, big league producers and stuff.
Well, he gets kind of screwed. I mean, he doesn't really get screwed over, but it just seems like, here's the thing, it's a good problem to have if they're like, you have to make another movie. Like, that's, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that, but I know for him, he wants to be creative, but...
Right, and I'm thinking, like, if I'm John Carpenter and, like, most of his, not most of them, but a lot of them have bombed in the box office. Some of them. But they're insane cult classics. And for DVDs and Blu-rays to come around, and, like, all these studios probably made record profits off, like, The Thing, 15-year anniversary DVD or whatever. He must have been like, now you're making money? Like, like, I don't know. That's just, well, I don't know.
He's a real artist. I mean, he's like, he writes, directs, produces, writes the music for all of his own stuff, and it doesn't seem like he's interested in making movies for money. It seems like he really wants to tell, like, a cool story, and this felt like, okay, they just want me for money. So I guess that's probably why they didn't want to do it.
He wants to create his films, and he also wants to enjoy making them, too. He doesn't want to make shit that he doesn't want to do, I feel like.
Yeah, so I watched this movie and I thought a bit differently for the first time in a long time. So the big reveal of this movie, the reason that, it's Halloween 2, it's you find out that Michael and Laurie are brother and sister. That's like the big deal or whatever. So it kind of like it gives a reason to why Michael Myers is doing what he's doing, which I don't know if you need, but it does give that. But I wanted to ask you, what came out 1 year beforehand that had a big surprise family reveal?
I would say Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. No, it would be Empire. Yeah, it'd be Empire, right?
Right. So John Carpenter has said, like, many times since then, he's just like, I don't know why I made them brother and sister. That was so stupid. Like, I was drinking when I wrote the script. Couldn't think of anything else. So I was like, oh, I think he was just riding the coattail of Luke, I am your father.
I mean, possibly, but it works in a weird way. Well, where we see Judith Myers in Halloween 1, kills her. We see Laurie Strode drop a key off in Halloween 1, right? Her parents are real estate people. Mm-hmm. And she goes to the Myers house to drop a key off, and then we see Michael Myers, the figure. And from there, we get the impression that he's just going to stalk this one babysitter.
Yeah.
And that's all. It's like I think the movie was going to be called like The Babysitter Murders or something, right? Or something, not Halloween at one point. So that was the focus, like, oh, she just had bad luck running into him, and now she became his focus, where it kind of makes more sense where he's there waiting for her and the sister thing. But, I mean, it's not the best reveal, and that's why the sequel kind of strayed from that story arc, where it's just like, yeah, let's make the rumor that they were brother and sister, and that was a cool thing to do. And when the kids are all walking to school, and it's like, isn't that like her brother or something? It's like, that's just a rumor.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I've never had a problem with the brother-sister thing, but a lot of people do. I don't understand why Halloween, the 2018 one, wasn't, like, the third Halloween movie. I don't understand why they had to forget this one. This is such a good it's a continuation of the same night. So why didn't they just have him get caught at the end when the hospital burns down? And Loomis, they could say he died there if they want to totally retcon the other ones, and then say that Michael lived but had horrible burns. Like, why did they get rid of that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because, I mean, I can't think of any other horror movie where it doesn't, like, you know, like, sorry, I'm jumping around here, but Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all of these movies, even most of the Halloweens, we have to meet, like, oh, this is, like, the stoner idiot, this is the jock, this is, like, the cheerleader girl. We have to meet all these idiots in the beginning of every movie. This one, we're taking off right where Halloween left off, and we don't need to know anything except for what happened in the last movie. We already know the characters, we already know the villain, we already know the town. So I love that. That's pretty different for a sequel to a horror movie.
Yeah, it goes 0 to 100 real quick because we're already there. We're already the murders are happening. Michael's on the loose. Killings happen right away. Whereas like the first kill, I mean, it took a while to get into the story of Halloween. And there's car crashes. There's fire. There's people screaming at each other. There's gunshots. It's like, wow, it's like Halloween on steroids pretty much. And it's exciting. It is. It must have been a fun experience for those that are fans of Halloween.
Yeah, and then you get Loomis basically like a crack addict in this one. Like, he's just off the wall, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I shot him 6 times. He's freaking out.
Yeah, well, if there's a fun fact there, if you listen to the sound, there's 7 shots fired.
Yeah.
If you listen to it, there's a bang, 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 and it's like, wait, that's a revolver, and there's 7 shots. So the sound editing must have been like, screw it. Like,
I know. Dude, no, I knew that too. I caught it 7 because he keeps saying 6 times.
He says 6 times, and it's because it's a 6-shooter. You know,
yeah.
Like, there's no
exactly.
7-shot guns. It's like this gun goes to 11. Like, it's the Spinal Tap of guns. You know,
right? So there's not one person that's like, hey, that was 7, by the way. Like, oh, it was? Like, that didn't happen anywhere in any of the editing.
I wonder if it's because of how like the timing worked out. It's like just fire another one because the timing does. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just how they shot it. It felt weird to not have an extra shot.
Yeah, so then it picks up where the body's on the ground. We see, like, the print or whatever, and you're like, oh, my God, like, he landed there, and he's gone. And then Loomis runs out, and he meets the neighbor, and the neighbor says, like, what are you, this is a trick-or-treat prank? Like, I've had enough of these.
I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight.
He's like, you don't know what death is.
There's a lot. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, I want to go into the writing a little bit, because I do like the writing. There's some really corny delivered lines, mostly between Loomis and Brackett, the sheriff. Like, you let him out! Like, that's a terrible delivery. That, and then, they found kids.
Yeah.
And one of them was Annie. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that one's like so cringe. But, I mean, it's not the worst thing. But the writing, dude, I'm going to say this. I don't hate this. If you had to make a sequel, this is as good as it gets. Because I caught things in there that I really liked as a viewer. One, when Ben Tramer gets completely blown up by the car and pinned and burning alive, Loomis looks at him for a while, and you think, that's how I have to kill him. Burn the body. And that's like a little foreshadowing, where he saw Ben Tramer burning like up, and he's like, that's the only way to burn the evil. So that's a little foreshadowing there, and I like that a lot. Another thing is, Laurie and Loomis's relationship does not exist, pretty much. They meet at the end, and that's it. And I freaking love it.
Really? You like that they don't have a relationship?
I like it. Because, I mean, they do Loomis in Halloween 4, and they build that relationship. I like that Loomis and Jamie Lee Curtis kind of have this, like, we know each other, but we don't know each other, and I love that. I thought that was great writing. I really did.
Well, yeah, I mean, he says at the hospital where he sees her, he's like, I'm sorry I left you, like, or whatever, because he does.
I love it.
Runs out, and he's just like, call the police, tell him I shot him. He's just screaming nonsense, but yeah, I mean, it is cool that they're both experiencing this different story, but also Laurie doesn't even know that Michael, who Michael Myers is. She's like, who the fuck is this guy that's attacking me? She doesn't know anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's like the polar opposites. Like, Laurie has no idea who this guy is, and Loomis knows everything about who this guy is.
Well, no, he doesn't. Remember, the file was hidden from him, his doctor.
Wow. He thought he knew everything, though. Oh, and another thing that they foreshadow, and you're mentioning about the fire, when Loomis and the nurse, his assistant or whatever, I can't remember her name, and the one that smokes, Marion, maybe? Is that her name?
I forgot off the top of my head, yeah.
Yeah, but she smokes, she's in Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
He mentions Celtic fire rituals in the car to her there. And you're like, because he mentions Samhain or whatever.
Sam Hain.
Yeah. But they mention Samhain, and they start mentioning Celtic rituals and how it's like the unconscious mind, and there's like, it has to be like destroyed in fire. He starts talking about fire there, too.
Yeah.
So you're like, huh. So you're right. He notices Ben Tramer lighting on fire. He then, after that scene, he sees the Samhain thing and starts mentioning about the Celtic fire, and then Michael dies by fire.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
No, it's cool. It is cool as a viewer. You know, I was obsessed with watching all the Halloweens when I was a kid, but this one I watched a lot and I liked it. You know, I know people knock it and stuff. I'm like, I like it. It's not a bad sequel.
I mean, it feels exactly like part 2 of the same movie. It really does. I mean, it's the same cinematographer as Halloween 1. It's a new director. But yeah, it's Deborah Hill and John Carpenter writing it. It's all the same actors for the most part coming back. It's not like anybody, new actor filled the role. And then it's the same cinematographer. And it was all filmed in Pasadena in the same area and stuff, too. So it's cool, dude.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like names and stuff that like Ben Tramer, who was Laurie's crush. You know, there's so much from the first one he brings in the second one, including the crew and cast. But like Ben Tramer, wasn't that, you know, like Laurie had a crush, like, ooh, Ben Tramer? Remember that? Yeah. So that's in Halloween 1. And they mention him in Halloween, the 2018 one, because if you think about it, this movie doesn't exist from Halloween to the Halloween 2018. Halloween 2 is not... Right. So Ben Tramer in that timeline is still alive in 2018.
Yeah, and that's so crazy, because you can never say that about, like, any other... Well, maybe, like, Marvel movies or whatever, but there's, like, split timelines of what happens to these characters, which is kind of cool. I mean, you can follow...
I can't even keep up with Marvel anymore. I'm a Marvel fan, and I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth to figure this shit out anymore. Like, it's like, to watch as much Marvel, it's insane.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's cool that, like, even Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, like, they don't have this level of retconning that kind of, like, makes it more interesting. Like, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just off the walls. Like, they've retconned that to death, and you don't even know what the hell is going on anymore.
Yeah.
But this one, you can still build a semblance of a plot, and to your point, basically, it's like, oh, Ben Tramer died in this timeline, but he's alive in a different one, and... You know, it's kind of cool.
I think it's cool. I like it, and that's why, like, being a fan and knowing, like, those characters and stuff, it's kind of cool. I'm mad I can't remember the nurse's name off the top of my head. That makes me seem like a bad fan.
It's Marion.
It's Marion. Yeah, it's about to, like, drive me crazy. Because she's also in the Halloween... I don't want to spoil it if anyone... But yeah, she's in one of them.
Yeah, and actually, she's married to the director of this movie in real life.
Wait, she's married to John Carpenter, Marion?
No, the director of this movie is Rick Rosenthal. He directed this.
Oh, right. Yep. Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, so she actually ended up... Yeah, Marion Chambers is the character. So, yeah, she got married to the director of this movie when they met on set, which I always like.
Ah, isn't that cute?
Yeah,
that's cute.
I know. But a couple things. Michael's mask looks pretty good in this one. It goes downhill quick in some other ones, so... Mask is looking good.
Yeah, dude, the mask in Halloween Ends, it's almost, like, wild how, like, messed up it is.
Yeah, but, like, there's some Halloweens in the middle where the mask looks like shit. Like, it just looks like a joke.
Oh, yeah, like, come on, man. This isn't Party City. Like, you can do a little better.
Yeah. So the mask looks good in Halloween 2. Music, I like it, but it starts to get a little kind of weird.
What is it, like, techno-y? Like, what is it?
It's like...
I don't even know how to phrase it. I don't hate it, though. It's different.
No, I don't either.
Especially in the flashback scene at the beginning where it's like, wow, 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 wow. Like, deep tones. Yeah. I thought that was cool.
Well, especially after he says that, you don't know what death is, then it, like, blasts.
Yeah.
Like, immediately after he says that line. Yeah, so it's good. I do like the music in this one. I like the intro, too. The pumpkin doesn't look as scary, but I like how it splits and there's a skull inside. Like, I really like that. Music's a little different. Pumpkin's not as scary, but damn, that's a good shot.
What does John Carpenter have against, like, doctors? Like, most of his doctors are, like, kind of drunks, right?
Did he write Halloween 3?
Oh, he might not have. I thought he did.
I don't know. I can't remember because yeah, he's a drunk doctor in that one.
And the doctor, like with Laurie, he like comes and is like, I need coffee or I'm not going to be able to perform the surgery, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. So they say to him, there's like, oh, he was at the club. I think he's drunk. They're like, great.
I wonder what experience John Carpenter had where he's like, all doctors are drunks. Like,
I mean, maybe. It does seem like that's a pretty common thread in his movies. The hospital, it's a cool place for like a horror movie or whatever, but Laurie is so underutilized in this one. You know, just like in Halloween Kills. Like, she's just in a hospital.
yeah, Halloween Kills. I mean, that's kind of a good point. Like, she does nothing in Halloween Kills.
She does less in this one.
Yeah, but I do like that she's injured and like getting away from him. I like the chase when they do that. It's like, oh, they're doubling down the chase now because she's hurt. She's medicated, and I always thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nightmare. It's so scary when she gets to there. She's like, don't put me to sleep, because she knows, like, this guy's not human and could still be after me. So that's kind of a cool concept.
Oh, yeah. That part's terrifying. And then she's just, like, loopy the rest of the movie. Actually, yes, let's talk about when they put her out and she has the dreams or whatever. And she sees, like, the scene with her and Michael or whatever. She's like, you're my brother. Don't do this, Michael. Like, that whole thing. That's where it gets
We see, like, young Michael in this, like, white dream. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, I don't love that. And then also, like, the scene where, like, Mrs. Strode is like, I'm not your real mother. How many times do we have to go over this? We're like, oh, my God. Like, it's kind of...
It's like, wait, now I'm remembering that she's not my real mother. Like, I don't know. It's a little...
Yeah, it's a little much.
It's a reach. It's a reach.
But the hospital, like, aside from Laurie being in the coma, aside from the dreams and all that stuff, it's a cool setting. Like, it's Halloween night. We're seeing kids coming in with razors, you know, from eating bad candy or whatever. The staff, they're all kind of pieces of shit. You got that one guy who's just, like, smoking weed and doesn't care about anything, swearing all the time. Like, I don't know. I like the setting. I liked it.
Yeah.
And the ending, I mean, is like... Well, I guess before we get to the ending, the scene where Michael is he's chasing Laurie into the hospital, and he just walks through that plate glass window.
That was sick. I love that scene.
That's like my favorite shot of the movie.
Just open the door, like, or like break it.
I know, yeah, it's already open. It's already open. He just, like, that's impossible. No one could do that. Like, you have to be, like, running.
I mean, it's just physics. You're just like, doors don't really break like that. I don't know, like, how he just, like busted through like that.
That would never happen. It doesn't matter if you're like The Rock. Like, it doesn't. You need more inertia.
Like doors with like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but then that leads into like the best fucking sequence of like any Halloween movie almost is like he kills a security guard who's just an idiot, and he's like, his post is done, and he just stabs him.
Yeah.
And then chases Laurie and Loomis into like, I don't know, some room full of gas tanks.
Which, I mean, that's good for... I mean, there should be gas in the hospital, right? Like oxygen and all this other shit, right? Why not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's... I mean, it's cool. So you get all that going on. But then, dude, Laurie shoots him in the eyes. Point blank range.
Like, right between the eyes. There's two eyes, so I think she nails him right in between the eyes.
So he takes... And before he even gets into that room, he does the same thing. He just breaks through the door. Just, like, walks through it like it's wood. And you're like, oh, my God.
I was going to say, like, that's something we didn't really... I mean, we saw that Michael's strong, you know, in Halloween 1. But this one, it's like, okay, so he's, like, super power strong.
Yeah, well, even before any of him just breaking through doors, dude, he lifts up that one nurse with just a scalpel in her back. Dude, his fist must be, like, on her spine. Like...
Yeah, they really upped the ante on Mike's strength because... I mean, obviously, moving a headstone is crazy. And then he moves Judith Meyer's headstone in Halloween 1. Obviously, I think it's Paul, the guy with the glasses, who PJ Souls is like, go get me a beer. And it's like, why don't you get me a beer? And he goes down, and then he lifts him up and stabs him so hard that he sticks there. So it's like, we do know Michael's strong, but do we know that he can bust through doors and...
No, I didn't. I mean, it's impossible.
Bust down a wall? Like, damn.
Well, then also getting shot in the head twice at point blank range, then getting lit on fire on top of that. Dude, like, that is a pretty sick shot, though, is when Laurie's escaping in the hallway, and then you think it's over, and you just see this flaming, like, body just coming out of the fire. It's awesome, dude.
But then you're like, no way, right? Like, everyone in the audience is like, no, wait, how? And then he drops, and it's like, wow, he got him. You know, Dr. Loomis got him.
Right, because you would assume that's definitely going to be the end. This is even before, like, Friday the 13th. had part 3, you know, like this is part 2 Friday the 13th still that just come out. So people don't know supernatural 8 movie versions of these killers yet. They still think like, oh, they can get rid of these guys. But no, they don't know. Also, I don't know if you ever noticed this, there's a huge glaring production issue when the hallway explodes as Michael's walking down to the right. Dude, literally, because it was filmed on a set, it wasn't like an actual hospital that scene. The entire wall is just like missing from the right-hand side of the screen.
I gotta check that out again. I might have missed that.
Yeah. Next time you see the explosion, just look to the right and it's like completely gone. You're like, this is such a set.
How about the ambulance, like, dude? Who's like, you want a Diet Coke or like a Diet Pepsi? Like,
oh yeah.
So that guy kind of died in the shittiest way. Like, wait, he didn't even die. Is he alive?
I don't think he died.
Well, he slipped on the blood and like concussed, and then went to the car, and then he passed out on the horn, right? And because he did that, it got Michael's attention. So, but he's alive, right?
Yeah. So in the TV version, the way that the TV version ends is in the actual ambulance, and you see Laurie's lying down. She's all afraid.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's definitely alive. He's definitely alive. What am I saying? I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Well, because then he sits up, and you're like, "Who is that?" And then all of a sudden he takes it off. He's like, "Hey, it's me." But that's the TV version. So in this version, he's dead. I don't think he's dead. I think he just passed.
Yeah. But then at the end too, what's even better, like the ultimate palate cleanse to this movie. Like we go from dun 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 to Mr. Sandman, bring me. It's like, oh wow, it's like when you have wasabi and then you wash it down with a little ginger. You know, it's like a nice palate cleanser.
Oh my god, what's up with that song though in this movie? Like, why that song?
It's like I think Boogeyman and Sandman and something about like just we made it, we beat the Boogeyman. I don't know why Sandman. Why?
I always love that song, but it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It's in Back to the Future also, but I don't know. Yeah, there's that.
They could have went with "I'm your boogeyman." That's what I am. I just ended with that. Like
that would ruin everything if that.
And the ambulance is driving up. I'm your boogeyman, and that's how the movie ends.
I would be, dude. People would like riot if that happened.
We should make a cut of that. That'd be really funny to have on YouTube, like alternate ending with different music, and like just put that.
I thought of a cut for this movie too. You know, when Michael goes to stab the pillows and it's Laurie or whatever, and he thinks it's Laurie, but it's pillows.
Yeah, that was like, come on, dude. Like,
no, I wanted to put the sound from Lord of the Rings when they do that, like that. Like, because you know they do that in Lord of the Rings where they go to stab the pillows. And then,
right.
And then you put that screech sound, but over this movie, you know, when Michael goes to stab, and then he doesn't see it, and then it's the screech sound from Lord of the Rings.
The same thing, yeah.
So I was thinking the same thing, like they're good, like overdub. Yeah, like the Wraith from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, another little tidbit of trivia. Did you happen to see which SNL cast member was in this film?
I'm gonna guess Bob Odenkirk.
No, he's not. He's not a cast member from SNL.
I mean, he's been on SNL, right?
Bob Odenkirk? He was a writer.
He's a writer, yeah.
No, so Dana Carvey. You didn't notice him in this?
What was he in this? I don't know.
He's the news reporter who the guy's like, what if you ask him questions, even if they don't give you an answer, like I don't remember what they said, but you see him a bunch of times. He's got a baseball hat on.
That's fucking Dana Carvey?
Yeah, he gets like interviewed by the news person or something. Yeah.
Oh man, all right, I got to rewatch that now too. I say Bob Odenkirk too because in the Halloween Kills, they do like pictures of like all of Michael's victims throughout the years, like on the TV, and the young picture of, I think it's Paul who gets stabbed in Halloween, the original, is a young picture of Bob Odenkirk.
Huh. I wonder why.
I don't know, it's just fun to do. Like he looks kind of like Paul. He has those big glasses on, you know, so kind of worked.
But yeah, no, Dana Carvey was in this. This was like his first acting thing, I think. And then the next year, he was in a TV series about Mickey Rooney and Scatman Crothers coming to live with Mickey Rooney's grandson, which was played by Dana Carvey, and his roommate, Nathan Lane. That was a sitcom, dude, in like 1982.
That's wild.
Yeah, so that's an actual show. So that was like his first thing after this. But yeah, he was Mickey Rooney's grandson with Nathan Lane as a roommate. So.
All right, hold on. I'm looking something up real quick. Bear with me. You can cut this out. I'm an idiot. I've been saying... All right, I want to correct myself. I've been saying Paul. It's Bob. I don't know why I thought Paul. It's Bob who gets stabbed, right?
Bob's the one with the glasses.
Is it Bob? Yeah. Why do I think Paul? What's that from? And something's in my head. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Paul. It's Bob. The one-syllable name messed with me. The one-syllable name.
Yeah.
It'd be worse if I was like, oh, Timmy Doyle or something.
No, yeah.
I mean, messing up a Marion. Yeah, come on, Eric. You're a better fan than this. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, so I mean, it's a great sequel. It's, I mean, probably the best Halloween sequel aside from the new trilogy. I know you like H2O a lot, but do you think that I think this is better than H2O?
Halloween 2 is way better than H2O.
Yeah, and H2O is like considered like the best of the other ones, but I still
think the best up until the sequels, like the different timeline sequel. But H2O is, if you watch H2O, it's like such a time capsule of the 90s. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure like Creed is like one of the soundtrack songs. Like it's just wild.
Well, I want to know, did you notice too the way that this movie starts is kind of actually similar to the way the original one starts, where Michael sneaks into a house, POV shot, steals a knife, and then kills somebody? Mm-hmm. It's kind of similar.
Well, he doesn't kill someone off the bat. He steals a knife first, POV, and scares someone, and then he kills. And also, like, I always love that shot too of like when he goes to stab her, she's just like already dead, and then he stabs her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where she's like laying back like, stab me.
Well, the TV version of this apparently, so the old lady dude, they edited it super weird. So that teenage girl that gets killed, who's on the phone, and she's like, I think there's like somebody in my neighborhood or whatever. That girl, the first girl that gets killed, that's gone. That's not even in the TV version. What they do is they edit around it, so it seems like the old lady, she screams,
and then she dies.
But they don't show it. It's off screen, and she's reacting, dude. So what they did is they took a still image of Michael Myers from later in the movie when he's in the hot tub. He's standing over the hot tub. They darkened it and reversed it, so it's the old lady like
and it cuts quick to that face, and then oh my god,
it cuts to a still image of Michael Myers, and there's no movement, and it's like they just reversed it. You're like, God, yeah. The TV version's apparently insane. Wow. So people want to check that one out.
Yeah, and the other kills too, like the needle through the eye. I'm like, would that kill you? It probably would suck, but I don't know if that would kill you, unless there's something in it. But
there might have been poison. Yeah.
I mean, is he just like blowing air into her brain? Like, I don't know. And then the other kill. This was disturbing when I was a kid and watched it. Was the hot tub scene, the hot water. That's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
That's very graphic, and freaking love it.
I mean, yeah, that scene is crazy, but I think that the kill that actually stuck out to me the most is the blood one, dude. It's like Michael took somebody, stuck a needle into their arm, and drained all of the blood out of their living body.
Let's get a nurse on here. How easy is it to find a vein for Michael Myers, to find a vein while wearing a mask? Is it easy? Do you think it's easy for him to find a vein?
No, I think it's hard, and also he has the brain of like an 8-year-old. So I don't know how the hell I can't do that. How can a kid that's been locked up in an institution for all of his life know how to do that?
I don't know. It's boogeyman shit though, for real. Like that's boogeyman stuff. That's what he does.
Yeah, that's a little much. And then I think the dumbest scene in the entire movie is the school scene, dude. Just like, so we're supposed to believe that Michael Myers broke into his old school, drew a picture as if he was an 8-year-old because it looks like a kid drew it, and then put a knife into it, hoping that they would go to the school and then see him writing Samhain on the board in blood.
Samhain.
Is that what we're supposed to believe?
I mean, so what time is it, too?
Like 3 in the morning, probably, at this point.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like, why? That's a good point. That's probably the weakest part of the movie.
Oh, the picture, too, dude. It literally looks like a little kid with crayons who's like, this is my family.
Do you know what that reminds me of? But remember Not Another Teen Movie? When she's like, she has that scene where she's like, she drew a picture of her mother, and Chris Evans is like, she has your eyes. And it's just literally a stick figure.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Michael Myers drew. He drew a stick figure. And like, come on.
Yeah, dude, that's really lame. So, like, he sets up this whole, like, production hoping that everyone will go see it, and it'll be like, woo-hoo-hoo. Like, why does he care?
It's some weak boogeyman shit, but it's boogeyman shit. I don't know.
Yeah, and this is where they kind of start forcing in, like, the Celtic druid, kind of like, he's more than just a man, he's supernatural, which, Halloween Ends is hopefully going to wrap all that up. We're going to find out, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Tramer, dude. Him dying kind of on Loomis. And like that family's going to get a lot of money from the Haddonfield town, dude.
Well, Ben Tramer's drunk. We find out in the first one he's drunk or whatever.
Okay.
I think there's that, and like you got Sheriff Brackett chase, like you're holding a bag of candy and a mask, and he's probably like stole some shit too, and he's running away from the cops. So it's like it's one of those cases where like the cops are gonna get away with that one. Like he's up to no good still. It's like,
so he was at the party, got drunk, and was like, I'm gonna go trick or treating, and then
well, I mean, then the cops are gonna be like, well, you deserve to die.
oh my god,
That's probably, it's open and shut case. That's like, I mean, come on, this is America, Alec. This is America.
he did not deserve that. Oh my god, he did not deserve what happened to him, dude. No matter what.
Well, they're gonna write it up like he was drunk.
It's Halloween. No cop should be driving that fast on Halloween.
His vision was impaired because he was drunk and wearing a mask. Like, it's not our problem.
Oh my god, we saw what happened. That is not what
That's half of everything these days, dude. Like,
oh my god. We watched the cop see, and the cop even says, I didn't even see him. He came out of nowhere.
it's an accident. It's an accident.
Yeah. No, it was. I think it was an accident.
Yeah, no one's gonna get suspended for that one. You know, it's like, dude, that's messed up. But that you gotta ultimately blame the chaos on Michael Myers. You know, it's still Michael Myers' kill, because that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Michael Myers.
Yes. Where'd he get that mask?
Yeah. Where'd he get that? Well, obviously from that store that Brackett was at, was like, kids broke in, they stole some rope and a couple masks. Remember?
Yeah, so maybe it was Ben Tramer that did that, actually. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't Michael Myers.
Wow. Maybe there's an alternate universe we don't even know about. Or a portal.
Well, what do you say we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's end it on the portal.
All right, spin that wheel.
Let's spin that wheel. All right, let's do it. Ready? Spinning. What you say? I can't really motherfucking hear you. Yeah, you. All right. Okay. Like this one. The Wolfman from 2010.
Oh God.
The one with Benicio del Toro. So very excited for that one.
Yeah, you really like that one, right?
I like that one. I don't want to get into it, but Dracula Untold, I think we're doing it at some point. I think Justin might be doing that one, but not a huge fan of Dracula Untold.
Okay. All right.
I like the Wolfman though. I thought that was well done.
All right, cool. Well, perfect. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Halloween 2 today. Join us tomorrow for Wolfman. Is that it? Just Wolfman?
The Wolfman. Yeah,
The
Wolfman. Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Alec. Woo!